If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a Blitz Kenny Pickett's journey to claim the starting quarterback job with the Cleveland Browns has hit an unexpected hurdle, one that tests not only his physical limits, but also his mental resilience. A hamstring injury, often underestimated in its severity, has sidelined Pickett during crucial training camp practices, creating a complex scenario for a player whose game has always relied on mobility and improvisation. But rather than wallow in frustration, Pickett has chosen to channel his energy into a different direction, focusing on what he can control, and that starts with refining his pocket presence. Known for his agility and ability to extend plays, Pickett now finds himself in a position where he has to embrace the classic quarterback role, reading defenses, stepping up into the pocket, and delivering with precision. While he's not happy about missing reps, he remains optimistic that this forced pause might sharpen a part of his game that will pay off long-term. Even in limited action, the fire in his eyes is unmistakable. Kenny Pickett isn't just fighting an injury. He's fighting for his future in Cleveland. There's a sense of urgency in the way Pickett speaks about his rehab process. You can tell that being sidelined gnaws at him, not just because he's missing valuable reps, but because he knows how fleeting opportunities can be in the NFL. The competition is fierce, and every snap, every throw, every read matters. If you're not out there, I think it's a setback, Pickett candidly admitted, highlighting a truth that resonates with anyone who's ever fought for a starting role in pro football. He knows how critical it is to be present on the field, to make an impression, to gain chemistry with receivers, and to show the coaching staff that he's capable of leading his team. But it's not just about being out there. It's about being the best version of himself when he returns. And that means rehabbing smart, not rushing back too soon, and making every throw count when the time comes. For Pickett, this is more than just a pulled hamstring. It's a pivotal moment in his career arc. How he responds now could define how he's perceived for years to come. The Cleveland Browns quarterback competition has quietly become one of the most intriguing storylines of this year's training camp, not because of a flashy rookie or a guaranteed starter, but because of the sheer uncertainty that clouds the depth chart. With SHEDEUR Sanders nursing a sore arm and Kenny Pickett sidelined with his hamstring issue, only Joe Flacco and Dillon Gabriel remain as full participants. And while Flacco brings veteran poise and Gabriel represents a fresh, hungry presence, it's Pickett who carries that blend of experience and upside that fans and coaches are eager to see materialize. But to materialize, he needs to be on the field. That's the cruel irony of the NFL. Your biggest strength can be rendered irrelevant the moment your body betrays you. Pickett came into camp feeling stronger and faster than ever before reaching. Speed metrics he'd never hit previously, only to be struck down by a first-time soft tissue injury. It's a cruel twist, but one that might offer a silver lining if he can adapt, evolve, and return stronger. For a quarterback like Kenny Pickett, whose collegiate career at Pitt was defined by leadership, mobility, and gritty playmaking, this injury serves as both a physical and philosophical challenge. Is he ready to evolve into a different kind of quarterback? One who wins not with his legs, but with his mind and arm. The NFL has countless examples of QBs who had to transition their game as their bodies changed or injuries piled up. For Pickett, this could be the beginning of that evolution. And if approached correctly, it might accelerate his development into a more complete player. He's acknowledged that being forced to focus on pocket mechanics could be a blessing in disguise. Of course, saying that and living that reality are two very different things. The mental grind of being sidelined while others take your reps is brutal. Watching from the sideline can often feel like watching your dream slip through your fingers, especially when the clock is ticking on your opportunity. Yet Pickett seems to be taking the right mental approach, determined, focused, and unwilling to let this moment define him in a negative light. Pickett's mindset right now is all about progression, not perfection. He's pushing himself to get back on the field quickly, but not recklessly. Soft tissue injuries are notoriously tricky, especially for quarterbacks who rely on movement and torque. Re-injury could mean weeks, maybe even months of setbacks, so the pressure to come back smarter, not just faster, is immense. His understanding of that balance is what makes his approach feel mature. He's not sulking. He's not making excuses. He's working through rehab with the intensity of someone who knows what's at stake. And what's at stake is not just a job. It's a chance to lead a franchise, to redefine the narrative around his NFL career, and to prove that he belongs. After all, he was once viewed as a franchise guy in Pittsburgh. Things didn't pan out there the way he hoped, but Cleveland offers a second chance, and Pickett's treating it with the urgency and respect it deserves. Every moment matters. Every rep missed is another reason to make the next one count even more. Kenny Pickett's story has always been one of persistence and determination, from his rise at the University of Pittsburgh to becoming a first-round pick, and now to this pivotal juncture with the Browns. His career path has been anything but smooth, and that's what makes his current situation all the more compelling. He's not just another quarterback trying to recover from a minor injury. He's a man in transition, a player trying to prove that he can adapt, overcome, and lead at the highest level. Injuries reveal character, and what we're seeing from Pickett is a player who refuses to let circumstance dictate his ceiling. There's an emotional weight to his words when he talks about his desire to get back, about how frustrating this has been, about how he's never dealt with something like this before. And yet his resolve doesn't waver. That kind of mindset, especially in a high-pressure environment like the NFL, could end up being his greatest asset. Because talent can take you only so far. Grit finishes the job. What makes this Browns training camp situation even more complex is the instability around it. SHEDEUR Sanders, another promising young arm, is dealing with his own physical limitations, while veteran Joe Flacco continues to take the bulk of first-team reps. Flacco's presence is steadying, but he's not the long-term answer. Dillon Gabriel is intriguing but raw. That leaves the door wide open for Pickett if he can get healthy. This isn't just a race to be QB1 for week one. It's a battle for control of the offense, for leadership in the locker room, and for long-term investment from the organization. The Browns aren't just looking for someone who can take snaps. They're searching for a field general, someone who can command respect and elevate the players around him. Pickett, with his background work ethic and underdog mentality, fits that mold. If he can stay healthy, and that's the cruel paradox, the only thing standing between Kenny and the opportunity he's been dreaming of is his own body's betrayal. But there's another layer to this story, one that makes it even more compelling. The emotional toll of watching others step into the spotlight while you're forced to the sideline. Every day that Pickett spends rehabbing is another day someone else gets a chance to shine. That's the brutal nature of competition in the NFL. It's not just about being good, it's about being available. Coaches build game plans around players they can count on, and injuries, no matter how minor they seem, quickly shift perceptions. Pickett knows that. That's why every statement he makes carries that undercurrent of urgency. He's not begging for sympathy. He's demanding to be ready, because he understands that the moment he steps back on the field, he has to be flawless. There will be no warm-up period, no easing into reps. The pressure will be immediate and immense. And yet, if anyone's built for that pressure, is Kenny Pickett. He's been doubted before. He's been overlooked. John, this is just another chapter in that same story. In a way, this hamstring injury might be the crucible that defines who Kenny Pickett becomes. It's forcing him to confront the limits of his own body, to reevaluate the kind of quarterback he wants to be, and to recommit to the grind with a sharpened perspective. It's easy to lead when everything's going well. It's much harder when you're forced to lead from the shadows, when leadership means setting an example through rehab, through patience, through mental toughness. And that's exactly what Pickett is doing. While others are throwing passes, he's studying tape. While others are taking snaps, he's working on the mental aspects of the game. Every day he's preparing not just to return, but to take over. That kind of dedication doesn't go unnoticed, not by teammates, not by coaches, and certainly not by fans who are desperate for a quarterback they can believe in. Pickett's not asking for the job to be handed to him. He's just asking for the chance to earn it when the time comes. When Kenny Pickett eventually returns to full health and steps back on the field, it won't just be a comeback, it'll be a statement, a declaration that no injury, no setback, no misstep in Pittsburgh or otherwise can keep him from chasing what he believes is his destiny, to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Every throw he makes, every decision, every audible will be scrutinized, but that's the nature of the position. He knows it. He embraces it. And that's what makes this story so fascinating, because Kenny Pickett isn't just battling a hamstring. Injury, he's battling time perception and pressure. And if he comes out the other side stronger, smarter, and more refined, the Browns might find they have more than just a backup fighting for a role. They might find a leader, a competitor, and perhaps even their quarterback of the future. Only time will tell. But one thing's for certain, Kenny Pickett's not backing down. He's just getting started, enjoying the content so far. Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Something is brewing in Cleveland, and it's not the usual preseason buzz. This time, the storm is coming from within. Sources close to the Browns organization have revealed a growing tension between veteran defensive superstar Myles Garrett and rookie quarterback SHEDEUR Sanders, son of NFL legend Deion Sanders. While the Browns have been hyping up their revamped offense and dynamic young roster, the reality behind closed doors might be very different. Word around the training facility is that Garrett has made some eyebrow-raising comments about SHEDEUR, questioning not only his leadership but also his NFL readiness. And these weren't just casual locker room critiques. According to insiders, Garrett's words were sharp, public enough to be overheard by other teammates, and pointed directly at Sanders' attitude and style. The locker room, once seen as a united front heading into the new season, is reportedly feeling the ripple effects of what some are calling the first major internal controversy of the year. Could this derail Cleveland's chemistry before the season even starts? The tension reportedly began during a closed-door team meeting earlier in training camp. While discussing expectations for the season, one source claims Garrett allegedly took a subtle jab at SHEDEUR, calling out rookies who think they're stars before taking a single pro snap. The room reportedly went silent. Although Garrett didn't mention Sanders by name, the implication was crystal clear to everyone present. SHEDEUR, who's known for his confident, some say cocky demeanor, didn't back down. Later that day during drills, onlookers noticed extra intensity. In their matchups, Garrett, a generational pass rusher, went harder at the offensive line when SHEDEUR was under center. And SHEDEUR? He reportedly fired back with comments of his own, reminding defenders of his elite college stats and Hall of Fame bloodline. What was supposed to be a normal practice session turned into a tension-filled standoff, with teammates caught in the middle, trying to keep the peace while avoiding taking sides in a drama that seems far from over. What's particularly alarming to Browns insiders is the potential for this feud to fracture the team's fragile unity. Remember, Cleveland has been struggling for consistency for years, with chemistry issues and coaching changes constantly resetting their momentum. Just when it seemed like things were stabilizing under coach Kevin Stefanski, this unexpected clash threatens to reignite the kind of locker room dysfunction the franchise has been desperate to leave behind. While Garrett has always been seen as a quiet leader and role model, this new edge he's showing has surprised many. Is it frustration at seeing a high-profile rookie get so much attention before proving anything? Or is Garrett simply protecting the team culture, ensuring no one, no matter how famous their last name, is above accountability? Either way, it's sending shockwaves through the facility. Players are reportedly having private conversations, divided over whether Garrett's comments were necessary leadership or unnecessary drama. For SHEDEUR Sanders, this isn't unfamiliar territory. He's dealt with criticism throughout his college career, especially after transferring from Jackson State to Colorado with his father. Many questioned whether he could thrive outside the HBCU spotlight, and yet he silenced doubters with strong performances under pressure. But the NFL is a different beast. And now, not only does SHEDEUR have to adapt to the pro level, he's doing it under the scrutiny of one of the league's most dominant defenders on his own team. Some say SHEDEUR is handling it with the same swagger he always has, brushing off the noise and focusing on his work. But others inside the building say he's clearly aware of the growing whispers and is choosing to confront them head on. That's a bold move, especially for a rookie trying to earn the respect of veterans who've bled for this franchise. Whether it pays off or backfires remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, all eyes are now on the Browns QB room. Adding to the fire is the presence of cameras. With the NFL increasingly open to media access and rumors swirling of a behind-the-scenes docuseries possibly featuring Cleveland this season, there's a chance this whole feud ends up playing out for the world to see. Imagine a Hard Knock style. A drama with Garrett giving stoic, loaded interviews and SHEDEUR firing back with his trademark confidence. The fans would eat it up, but would it be good for the team? That's the million-dollar question. Some analysts believe a little tension can be healthy. It sparks competition, forces players to rise to the occasion, and makes teams tougher. Others warn that if not managed carefully, it can turn into something much darker. Division, resentment, a fractured locker room that no coaching staff can fully control. And with Garrett being a face of the franchise, the organization may have to tread carefully in how they handle things moving forward. Privately, Browns management is said to be concerned, though no official statements have been made. GM Andrew Barry, who invested heavily in building a balanced roster, now finds himself dealing with a potential personality clash that could affect the entire trajectory of the season. The team hoped that bringing in young talent like SHEDEUR would inject energy and excitement into the offense, but they probably didn't expect the veteran defense to feel threatened by it. There's even speculation that Garrett's comments stem from a deeper unease about leadership. With Deshaun Watson still trying to reestablish himself as the team's true leader and SHEDEUR naturally commanding attention with his pedigree and confidence, is Garrett stepping in to reclaim control of the team's identity? It's a theory that's gaining traction, especially among former players now turned analysts who understand the complex balance of power inside NFL locker rooms. Meanwhile, on social media, the fan base is already taking sides. Garrett loyalists argue that he's earned the right to call things out as he sees fit. He's been the team's cornerstone for years, a former #1 pick who's consistently delivered elite play. If he sees something off in SHEDEUR's approach, maybe it's worth listening. On the other hand, Sanders supporters see this as an unfair targeting of a young player who hasn't even had a chance to prove himself. They argue that SHEDEUR's confidence is being misread, that what Garrett perceives as arrogance might actually be leadership in the making. It's a generational clash, old guard versus new wave, and it's playing out in real time. With training camp still in its early stages, this story has all the ingredients to either escalate into a full-blown team controversy or evolve into one of the great underdog redemption arcs of the NFL season. The Browns coaching staff is said to be working overtime behind the scenes to keep things from boiling over. Sources say Stefanski has already held multiple one-on-one conversations with both Garrett and SHEDEUR in an attempt to smooth things over. The message is clear: unity above all. But in a sport as intense and personal as football, especially at the professional level, egos are hard to manage. What's encouraging, at least for now, is that both players are still practicing hard and showing up on time. No public meltdowns, no visible fights. But anyone who's been around the game long enough knows that the most dangerous drama is the kind you don't see until it erupts at the worst possible time. Week 1 is still weeks away, but the Browns may already be facing their most important test of the season, learning how to navigate internal conflict without letting it destroy what could be a promising year. Of course, all of this remains speculation. For now, no one has gone on record, and the Browns have remained tight-lipped about the rumored rift. But in the age of 24/7 coverage and insider leaks, it's only a matter of time before more details emerge. If true, this feud could become one of the major storylines of the 2025 NFL season. And if it's not true, well, then someone inside the Browns organization is doing a terrible job at keeping things under wraps. Because where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Whether this turns out to be a minor disagreement blown out of proportion or the first cracks in a fractured locker room, one thing's certain: Cleveland just got a whole lot more interesting. Fans will be watching, analysts will be dissecting, and both Garrett and SHEDEUR will have every move scrutinized from now until kickoff. Buckle up, Browns Nation. This season might be even wilder than expected. As the story continues to develop, one can't help but wonder what Deion Sanders thinks of all this. The NFL Hall of Famer and current college coaching icon has never been shy when it comes to defending his son. If the rumors are true, and Garrett has indeed targeted SHEDEUR in a way that feels personal, will Coach Prime stay silent? Don't! Count on it. A simple tweet, a cryptic quote, or even an on-camera interview could blow this whole situation wide open. And with Deion's massive media presence, anything he says instantly becomes national news. That's the added layer to this drama. The Sanders name carries weight, and so any slight towards SHEDEUR isn't just about football. It becomes about legacy, respect, and the long shadow of greatness. In Cleveland, the Browns wanted a spark when they drafted SHEDEUR Sanders, but they may have accidentally lit a fuse. Stay tuned. This is just getting started. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!